Yogi Adityanath says this is a message, an unambiguous, unequivocal one to the mafias, jinko mitti mein mila denge, whereas the opposition led by Akhilesh Yadav saying that this is simply extrajudicial killing.
When you say that this was a fixed match, the police didn't do and what it needed to do, obviously your allegation is that the present day government didn't do what it needed to do. But why do you believe that there is a fixed match? Why would the government let somebody like Amritpal run riot?
Russia is in a conflict. We're buying oil because it makes sense. But we're also telling Ukraine that we are with you. We'll help you. We're sending them aid. America is doing the same. It's upgrading the F-16s for the Pakistanis while calling India as a global strategic ally. So everybody knows how to play this game. So is India going to keep the focus on trade and economics?
Is the BJP fairly confident? I have covered the party and I know that they do not leave anything to chance, and 11 months is a long enough time for politics to change.
Reaction. There is sort of trade and there is money and stuff like that. But Indian democracy is a public good. So the surprising thing is that the so-called defenders of democracy, which are the United States, European countries, seem to just be oblivious.
If you noticed a statement of the foreign minister, he said China is much more powerful than us. If China is much more powerful with us, how can I pick a fight with them? Matlab, at the heart of the ideology is cowardice. Same happens in Parliament House. When there are important things that we need to speak about, demonetization, GST, the fact that the Chinese are sitting inside our territory, when we try to raise these questions, we're not allowed to raise them in the House. It's a fact. It's shameful, but it's true.
Our senior editor Pallavi Ghosh is joining live on this story. Pallavi, so now Rahul Gandhi has sought intervention from the US and Britain to intervene to restore Indian democracy. Can you tell us more about this?
So this was at a press conference which he did around a few days back, in I think day before on Saturday, where he made the point that he was actually also talking in the context of the BBC documentary, and he said that if the BBC had remained silent, then perhaps this kind of an investigation would not have taken place at their offices in Delhi and Mumbai. And that also explains why big countries in Europe and America are largely silent over what's happening in India, because there's money concerned, there are trade ties, and their trade and monetary benefits which accrues to these countries, which is why they prefer to remain silent. Of course, as expected, the BJP is, of course, taking a huge objection to it. And it's a borderline comment on the foreign policy of India. We'll have to wait to see that when the parliament session begins on 13th of March, whether the BJP is actually going to make this a big issue and whether they're going to try and move a notice against Rahul Gandhi. Because when it comes to foreign policy issues, it's also a very nuanced and careful line which one has to take.
By the way, also Rahul also made a big claim that Jay Shankar, External Affairs Minister Jay Shankar, does not understand the threat by the
that our government simply does not allow any idea of the opposition to be discussed.
The so-called defenders of democracy, which are the United States, European countries, seem to just be oblivious. There are reasons for there not being a reaction. There is sort of trade and there is money and stuff like that. But Indian democracy is a public good.
मुझे लगता है अपनी नाकामियों को छिपाने के लिए एक सुनियोजित तरीके से विदेशी सरजमीन से राहुल गांधी जी ने भारत को बदनाम करने का ठेका ले रखा है।
Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narasimhan. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, the Congress MP, has made a few statements. He has made a few claims. Has he backed them with facts? Has he shown the ability to lead the opposition's charge against Prime Minister Narendra Modi? Is his calling names or his allegations aimed at the current government or at the country? Is he right in seeking Western aid? Does he bring in the confidence? Or is it all coming up to a knot? There are many aspects to this, ladies and gentlemen. He is entitled to his opinion. But are there many who will agree with him? Or are there more who will question him and the veracity of his claims? That's where the debate lies. And let's go straight into the debate. What we've endeavored to do is pick out 5 questions and then we'll ask our panelists. There are only 2 of them. It's a straight face-off between the BJP and the Congress party, or supporter of Mr. Rahul Gandhi, and of course those who are saying that he is up to no good. So the first question that we're asking tonight will be 5 questions. So we try and get the answers quickly from our panelists, from our guests, and then go to the next question. The first question is Rahul Gandhi echoing the narrative of India baiters? There is a group which is out to discredit India. Is Mr. Rahul Gandhi echoing their very voice? Let's go across to our guest, Sanju Verma, national spokesperson of the BJP, George Korean, political analyst with us. Namaste, Jai Hind to the lady and the gentleman. And we'll try and keep it one answer apiece because there are 5 questions, so we'll have to cover it all. So let me ask you, Sanju Verma, is Rahul Gandhi echoing the narrative of India baiters? Your thought process.
You know, Anand, the simple answer to that is, of course, Rahul Gandhi is not only, completely driven by India baiters, but the fact that he does not do any fact check, and I cannot call this ignorance or the fact that he's oblivious of what the ground realities are. I mean, the whole country and anybody who has a basic understanding of politics knows that the BBC, for instance, is accused of tax evasion in its own home country, the United Kingdom, to the tune of $8 million in 2017, $11 million in 2018, and about $12.3 million in 2019. And somebody like Bob Blackman, the UK MP from Harrow East, has said that the BBC view is not the view of the UK government, and BBC documentary on Modi is nothing but a shoddy piece of disgraceful propaganda. This is a UK member of parliament saying BBC documentary is a shoddy piece of disgraceful propaganda, and Rahul Gandhi goes abroad and he cites the tax rates on BBC and says yahan to democracy khatre mein hai. What more do you want me to say? Okay. I mean, people can see through his charade.
Wait, I'll come to the facts part in just a bit, but this is also about the narrative. The question was about, is he echoing the narrative of those who want to discredit India or India baiters? You say yes, and you're saying this is what is happening. They're why backing them. Yes. George Koreanji, how would you want to respond?
Well, Anand, I really don't agree with the fact what you're trying to put it across, and to Sanju Verma. See, we have to understand that Rahul has been very vocal about learning to listen is the key to the 21st century as far as keeping a paradigm shift as far as politics is concerned. And he has also gone ahead and said that, India, as it, because see this public, he has spoken in public good, Indian democracy is in public good, and also gone on to say that at least 50% of the people who live in a democratic space live in India and believe in. So it's important for the independent institutions to be fair and in terms of for the actions and policies.
So he's not echoing anything that the India baiters sitting abroad have said, that the gang which is funded by or allegedly funded by Mr. George Soros, the gang that is sitting there and saying that India, this is what is bad with India, who are writing articles, who are sitting on forums, who want to dismantle the current entities because they are harmful to India. That kind of narrative, he is not echoing that at all. George Korean.
Well, not really. See, we have to understand that, I'm just failing to understand why the ruling dispensation is so scared and hell-bent and to the core that, they are making it probably it's becoming difficult for them to counter the allegations and statements that's coming from Rahul Gandhi. And we shouldn't actually bother them because he's speaking from his heart and is speaking what the current policies and actions that is happening on ground in India.
So you believe that what he is doing is he's saying
their statements are being
so your point of view is that it is his own view It's not influenced by anybody. Nobody has written a script, or he's not following a script that a lot of people abroad sitting there are following. You're saying he has derived it based on his own conclusion. That's your point of view. Whether they agree with you or not, that's the viewer to decide. I'm not deciding that right now. Question number one. Second question. Let's quickly move on to the second question. Has Rahul Gandhi backed his claims with facts? Whatever he has said at Cambridge and whatever he has said last evening during their interaction, has he backed his claims with facts? George Kurian.
Well, I don't see any reason or need for Rahul Gandhi to back the claims with facts, because it is there in public domain for everyone to see. What post 2014, what has gone, the series of events that has taken shape in India, be it the independent institutions, be it the judiciary, the media, and things like that, the CBI, the Enforcement Directorate, Income Tax Department, and things like that. We have seen all the social engineering that has taken shape post 2014, and the complete silence from the ruling dispensation when it comes to rape and women's security and things like that. So this need not be elaborated with facts and figures. It's there for everyone to see in public domain.
What is there for? I couldn't see Pegasus on his phone because the investigators also could not see it because he never gave his phone. So has he backed it with fact? Is a nation with 1/5 of the world's population, when he says democracy is in danger, especially after the Congress has won Himachal Pradesh and that the NPP has won Meghalaya and the BJP has won Gujarat, how is there democracy that is in danger? I'm just asking a lot of claims that Mr. Rahul Gandhi has made. Can he substantiate it with facts? So I'll park these questions aside. Sanju Verma ji, respond.
Thank you, Anandji. Let me come straight to the point. He first said that, his phone has been hacked and under surveillance. And as you rightly pointed out, as recently as August 2022, the ex-Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, Mr. N.V. Ramana, is on record. It is a statement in public domain that 29 phones were submitted, and monitored by the Supreme Court, appointed committee. And while 5 phones were found to have some kind of malware, there was no trace of Pegasus on any of these 29 phones that were duly investigated. So the Pegasus narrative is completely a damp squib, point number one. And very quickly, in 20 seconds, I'll tell you. Democracy khatre mein kab aayi? Democracy khatre mein aayi in 1951 when Rahul Gandhi's great-grandfather, Jawaharlal Nehru, passed the First Amendment. Democracy khatre mein aayi in 1975 when his grandmother Indira Gandhi imposed emergency. Democracy khatre mein aayi in 1976 when Indira Gandhi imposed the 42nd Amendment upon us and limited the power of judicial review of the courts.
I have only one request. There is a lot that's happened in the past which we can continue to chronicle and continue to highlight. Let's try and keep it to the present, because Mr. Rahul Gandhi has kept it to the present, the current disposition that is led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So we will keep it here, and then in the contours of this we can ask the questions and try and keep it as much as we can to this one, because if we go back to the past there is so much more that it will be a longer discussion. Let's come to the other aspect, what the BJP has alleged. Has Rahul Gandhi overseas criticized the Modi Sarkar and its policies, or has he defamed Bharat? Are both one and the same? Or can criticizing a government be appropriated to criticizing a country, or are both very different? Sanju Verma ji.
Thank you. Anand ji, tell me one thing. If you say that the Modi government is autocratic, I can still understand that is criticism of the reigning dispensation. But when you say that democracy is finished, there is no democracy in India despite the fact that we are the largest democracy in the world with a population of 1.4 billion. Every 6th person in the world is an Indian. Just in flat 18 months, we vaccinated our entire adult population in a classic textbook case of vaccine military across the world. We have been lauded by the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. We've been lauded for our digital and social infrastructure by Bill Gates. We've been lauded by Bob Sternfeld, the head of McKinsey, saying the next 100 years belong to India, not just the next 10 years. And Rahul Gandhi is making a generic statement saying democracy is finished. That is maligning India. That is not simply maligning the ruling dispensation. And he called the Pulwama terror attack what? He said it was a car bomb attack, making mockery of the 40 Pulwama martyrs who lost their lives while on duty. Is that not maligning the nation?
Okay. George Kurian, respond.
Well, I don't quite agree to Sanju Verma out here. And as you said, Rahul Gandhi is not trying to the nation. It's on a broader perspective. What he's trying to put it across to the audience is that there's a lot of suppression of voice across India. And he also goes on to say that the opposition is no longer just fighting the political fight. It is fighting the independent institution that is supposed to be doing and serving the purpose of the people and taking care of the interest of the people of India. And today the situation is that BJP and the RSS have total control about all the institutions that is independent in nature.
Can you prove this, sir? Can you prove this? Can you prove this? You're making a sweeping statement where you're saying that our courts are colored, our courts are prejudiced. You're saying our CBI is prejudiced. You're saying the ED is prejudiced. Is anybody and everybody into the pockets of the RSS and the BJP there? Are you trying to say that every single democratic institution or constitutional entity is currently compromised by the RSS? And can you prove that claim? You are making a sweeping statement on the integrity of a few hundred people sitting in these places in high offices.
Well, Anand, see, the fact remains that, the way the actions and policies into post-2014 has taken shape, one can make out the way it is moving ahead.
No, sir, that is a supposition and a circumstantial surmise that you make. Are you going to... Then what you are saying is slander and defamatory, Mr. George Kurian. And if Mr. Rahul Gandhi is also basing it based on what he thinks is happening without any onus of proof, then it's slanderous and defamatory. Can you make a sweeping statement? Are you trying to say that the collegium of judges in the Supreme Court are all in the hands or in the pockets of the RSS and the BJP? Because you just said constitutional entities and pillars today are all compromised. Can you make that statement, sir? Is that hurting the current criticizing the current government, or is that hurting the pillars of our own democracy, our own country?
With the actions post 2014 that has taken shape, it is very quite evident.
Actions of who, sir?
That one can.
Actions of who, sir?
With all the policies and actions.
Whose policies, sir?
Actions from
if they have absolute numbers in Parliament, doesn't the legislature have the right to pass law? So is the doesn't the administrative and the judiciary, the judiciary, the executive, can you all broad brush them? And is that being responsible, George Kurianji? I'm asking a simple question. There is that being responsible or not? Or is that being brazenly irresponsible? Secondly, sir, was it under this government or under the previous disposition in which the institutions like the CBI were called a caged parrot? So isn't it quite rich coming from Mr. Rahul Gandhi when itself the record has been quite checkered? Now, moving on to the next question.
May I come in?
I'll park it there, ma'am, because we've got two more questions and then we'll take the overall. It's all reading to one aspect and I'll get your thoughts, Sanjuji. Does Rahul Gandhi display the ability to lead the opposition in 2024? Because it's all building up to that. Does he display the ability to lead the opposition and a counter narrative against Prime Minister Narendra Modi? George Kurianji.
Well, I'm confident that Rahul Gandhi is capable enough and has all the ability of the leadership qualities that he has within him to lead a united opposition in 2024, and it goes without saying. And I'm sure that the united opposition will consider him and the Congress party to lead because it has a national footprint. And it believes in learning to listen with the attitude and a progressive development agenda that it will carry in 2024.
If it is learning to listen, then has it not got the message already that the opposition believes that the Congress will play a role but is not the fulcrum? That's been repeated oftentimes by the opposition. So who's willing to listen and who's not willing to listen? Question remains. Yes, Sanju Verma ji.
Okay. Thank you. Anand, since you, for lack of time, did not give me a chance to rebut to his previous rebuttal and this one, I'll very quickly just say that institutions are not under any form of attack. Recently, the Supreme Court said that the election commissioners will be decided by a three-member committee, including the Prime Minister, the Leader of the Opposition and the Chief Justice. And I don't think anyone from the BJP is up in arms saying, oh, democracy khatre mein hai. We have taken the court's verdict on this in our stride. And I just want to remind people who are saying that, the judiciary is sold out to the highest bidder, referring to the Narendra Modi government in this case, when Justice Chandrachud, he is the CJI today, he said during the Aadhaar judgment that right to privacy is a fundamental right, and the Aadhaar judgment was not exactly in the ruling dispensation's favor. We did not complain. In the Bhima Koregaon case, Justice Chandrachud was the only dissenting voice, and he said that, these 5 activists had the right to give their opinion, and opinion giving is not equal to defamation. We did not complain. We fought the Bhima Koregaon case in the court. So do not teach us political credibility and political morality, because the Congress has none today. I just want to say very quickly this. Rahul Gandhi cannot be the face of the opposition, and I will give you just one simple answer. They may say Bharat Jodo Yatra was not a political yatra, but did Akhilesh Yadav join the Bharat Jodo Yatra? No. Did Tejasvi Yadav join the Bharat Jodo Yatra? No. Did Mamata Banerjee join the Bharat Jodo Yatra? No. Omar Abdullah may have joined, but did you see Farooq Abdullah lauding the Bharat Jodo Yatra? No. So the fact is, even KCR from Telangana, did he applaud the Bharat Jodo Yatra? No. So the fact is that the Bharat Jodo Yatra is a textbook case of how the key opposition parties, particularly the Samajwadi Party under Akhilesh Yadav, Mamata Banerjee's DMC and RJD's Tejasvi Yadav have said to Rahul Gandhi, हमको आपके leadership की ज़रूरत नहीं है.
My final question. They are saying leadership की ज़रूरत नहीं है, support की ज़रूरत है, but you are not playing the pivotal role. Now, you cannot say that history will repeat itself, but the result will be different. That's the biggest mistake that anybody can make. We know what happened in 2019. In the meantime, final question. Does Mr. Rahul Gandhi, when he is making these statements and utterances on foreign soil and also across the country, does he have a better plan for Bharat than Prime Minister Narendra Modi? If so far has he been even able to delineate it or outline it? George Kurian, does he have a better plan for Bharat than PM Modi?
Well, definitely yes, and it goes without saying that Rahul Gandhi has the proper plan in place, and I'm sure that Congress will have a broader perspective and a progressive manifesto in place for 2024, and it will make an attempt to bring all the opposition parties together on one forum. And
if the plan is to defeat the BJP and PM Modi, that's not a plan for the country. That's a plan for a political party and the survival of some political entities. I am asking, what's the plan for my country?
Giving relief to the 130 crores people of India, and as far as employment is concerned, inflation is concerned, national security is concerned, so all this will be taken care of. So that it will be there in the manifesto. So we are ready to take on.
One minute. Let him complete, and then I'll give you your time to complete, Sanju Verma ji. These three, what you said right now, our national security experts say has never been as robust in the last 7 to 9 years. The rise of Bharat is the story that everybody is talking about. The amount of EPFO accounts that have been created and regularized, and people being brought through, connected through digital infrastructure has been the largest ever possible in the last 4 years, out of the last 9 years. So, how is that going to be better than Prime Minister Narendra Modi and what he has done is the question. Do you have a better story, narrative and a plan than PM Narendra Modi? We need a concrete answer on that. Have we found it? I'll leave the jury out there. Yes, Sanju Verma. Does Mr. Rahul Gandhi have a better plan?
Anand, I personally believe that if you cannot love your country, if you cannot love your army men, your brave hearts, then you have no business helming the affairs of this country. And Rahul Gandhi recently, when there was that provocation from the Chinese side in the Tawang sector, despite the defense minister, despite the external affairs minister, and despite Amit Shah, the home minister, clearly saying that there was provocation, but not an inch of land was usurped, and we responded with a firm hand. What did Rahul Gandhi say? चीन की सेना अंदर घुसकर उन्होंने हमारी सेना की खूब पिटाई की. A man who has zero respect for our armed forces has no business being the next Prime Minister. He can continue to see Mungeri Lal ke haseen sapne.
Right.
Mungeri Lal ke haseen sapne dekhna unka hak banta hai.
Right. So that's what. But can Mr. Rahul Gandhi still have a difference of opinion on what actually happened in Galwan, what actually happened transpired at that point in time, and has it been the slip between the cup and the lip in the matter of articulation? So criticizing the government cannot be equated to criticizing the country. That's one aspect. But in trying to criticize the government, if you end up criticizing the country, then who's at fault? Is that an issue of articulation then? We need a clear plan. We need the better alternative. If you are indeed the better alternative, do you have a better plan? That's what's important till then. And of course, back your claims with facts, please. That's something which is an argument which is made for both sides, the BJP and of course the opposition. Thank you very much. It's been short and sharp, but we'll try and do this again very, very soon. Sanju Verma ji and George Kurian ji, thank you very much. Moving on here on the right stand, ladies and gentlemen, quickly, the Yogi government's crackdown on Mafia continues in Uttar Pradesh. Today, Vijay Kumar alias Usman Chaudhary, another assailant in the Umesh Pal murder case, was gunned down by the cops. He's the one who first fired the first bullet, and he's caught on CCTV. Usman, who took the first shot at Umesh Pal, caught on CCTV holding a polythene bag and firing at Umesh Pal and his bodyguard. He was one of the 6 shooters who pumped bullets into Umesh Pal, a key witness in the 2005 murder of Bahujan Samaj Party legislator Raju Pal on the 24th of February. So where does the crackdown on the mafia stand? While at least 6 to 7 accused in the murder case are absconding, the state has bulldozed 3 of Atiq's aides' house, Safdar Ali, Maqsuddin and of course Khalid Zafar from between March 1st and March 3rd. Also, one after the other, this has happened. 2 accused, Arbaz and Usman, have been killed. Interestingly, Usman was Vijay Chaudhary. He converted to Islam as he joined Atiq Ahmed's gang. That's what happened. And then henceforth was known as Usman Chaudhary. Both have been killed. One on the 27th of March, one on the 6th of March, respectively. So the Umesh Pal murder plot, Atiq Ahmed, the mastermind, he's currently in a Gujarat jail. Atiq's brother Ashraf, he was the one who hatched the plot. Message was sent to Ashraf. Ashraf is lodged in a Bareilly jail. He makes a call to Sadakat Khan. The assailants met at his hostel. And Atiq's son, Asad, executed the murder plan. Asad was tasked and he was the one who plotted how the execution will happen. But the message, that's the allegation, was relayed via Atiq Ahmed. There is also the land angle which has now surfaced, along with the fact that he was one of the key witnesses. The co-conspirators, Nafiz Ahmed, who owns the Creta car that was used as the getaway vehicle, arrested. Usman killed in encounter. Arbaz killed in encounter. Guddu Muslim absconding. Mohammad Ghulam absconding. Sabir is absconding. Arman is absconding. So are 7 others who were present there as backup, as recce. They have not yet been named. Last we spoke and there were indications that Asad has been seen somewhere around the Nepal border. He's constantly trying to move between Bihar, Bengal and of course the Nepal borders. Usman had gone to Madhya Pradesh and came back to his village, and that's when the cops got tipped off and they counted him just about 5 kilometers from his village. That's what we're given to understand. Quickly moving on to Tamil